What's up, Cowboys Nation? This is Dallas Game Day, where every snap, every throw, and every roar from AT&T Stadium matters. And today, I'm here to say it loud and clear. The Dallas Cowboys are alive again. The 37-22 beatdown of the New York Jets wasn't just a win, it was a statement. It was the kind of performance that wakes up every critic, every doubter, and every tired fan who's been asking, what happened to America's team? Because let's be honest, the past few weeks have felt like a roller coaster without breaks. Injuries piling up, defensive collapses, and the headlines weren't kind. But Sunday? Sunday was the kind of day that reminds you why you still wear that star on your chest. It was dominant, explosive, emotional, and exactly what this team needed to spark a turnaround. The offense comes alive. Dak Prescott takes control. Let's start with the captain, Dak Prescott. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, efficiency, poise, leadership, all rolled into one. He threw for 237 yards, but this wasn't just about the stat sheet. This was about command. Dak owned that game from start to finish. Every read, every audible, every touch of the football screamed confidence. For weeks, people have been debating if Dak is elite. You've heard the chatter. He's good, but not great. He's consistent, but not clutch. Well, let me tell you something. What he did against the Jets is what elite quarterbacks do. They don't just play the game, they control it. They elevate everyone around them. Dak didn't just manage the offense, he orchestrated a symphony, turning backups into playmakers and adversity into fuel. And here's the stat that made me stop and double take. Dak Prescott now holds the Cowboys franchise record with 41 games of 3 or more touchdown passes. That's not just history, that's legacy. That's leadership. That's the kind of number you mention in the same breath as legends. And he did it all with a patched-up offensive line and without CeeDee Lamb. That's right, no top receiver, no excuses, just pure execution. Dak is playing like a man who's tired of the narrative, a man who's ready to silence every national show that forgot what he's capable of, a man on a mission. Next man up mentality, Ryan Flournoy's breakout game. Now let's talk about the unexpected star, Ryan Flournoy. When you think next man up, you usually think coach speak, but not this time. This man stepped up. Over 100 receiving yards in just the first half. You could feel the shift in the air. Every route was crisp. Every grab was confident. It didn't feel like a lucky break. It felt like destiny. This is a player who's been buried in the depth chart waiting for a shot. And when the Cowboys needed someone, anyone, to fill the CeeDee Lamb void, Flournoy turned MetLife Stadium into his personal highlight reel. He wasn't out there just catching passes, he was taking souls. He gave this offense a spark, and more importantly, he gave Dak another weapon he can trust. This is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, when the team believes in its depth, when a player believes in himself. It's good coaching, good scouting, and great execution, all rolled into one. Javonte Williams, the balance Dallas needed. Let's not overlook what Javonte Williams did either. 135 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and another through the air. That's what balance looks like. That's what versatility looks like. For weeks, we've been waiting for the Dallas run game to find its rhythm, and Sunday, it finally did. Williams ran like a man possessed, breaking tackles, finding seams, and giving Dallas the ability to control tempo. And when Dak found him for that touchdown reception, that was chemistry. That was trust. That's what this offense has been missing. Flow, balance, unpredictability. And when you combine that with Prescott's accuracy, this team looks lethal again. Defense reborn. 5 sacks and counting. Now let's flip it over to the side that's been under fire, the defense. 4 straight weeks they looked lost, confused, out of sync. But on Sunday, it was like the entire unit woke up. 5 sacks, constant pressure, relentless energy. This was the Dallas defense fans have been waiting for. Not perfect, but punishing. The standout? James Howson. 2 sacks in his debut performance like he's been wearing the star his whole life. The man looked like a seasoned Cowboy, setting the tone early, collapsing the pocket, and making Justin Fields' afternoon a nightmare. When your new addition looks like that confident, that ready, it's a sign your defensive culture is coming alive again. And let's not overlook the mentality shift. Aggression, hunger, and unity. That's what stood out. This wasn't just stats padding against a struggling team. This was an attitude adjustment. They played like they had something to prove, because they did. The forced fumble before halftime? That's a moment you circle. That's a turning point play, the kind that separates contenders from pretenders. It's what this defense had been missing: swagger and timing. A blueprint for the future. Let's be real. Beating a winless Jets team doesn't make you a Super Bowl favorite overnight. But what it does give you is momentum. It gives you proof of concept. This game showed that when the offense executes and the defense brings pressure, Dallas can beat anybody. That's not optimism, that's reality. It's easy to say, well, it's just the Jets, but you know what good teams do. They dominate bad teams. They don't play down to the competition, they impose their will. And that's exactly what the Cowboys did. This wasn't a lucky win. This was a reset, a reminder that Dallas still controls its destiny. The early season struggles were real, but this was the bounce back they needed to get the locker room believing again. So what comes next? Now the challenge is simple. Keep that energy, keep that edge, because the schedule ahead doesn't get easier. Washington, Carolina, Green Bay, every week another test. But this is how you build momentum. One win, one spark, one Sunday at a time. Now let me tell you something. You could feel it on the sideline, even through the screen. Belief. For the first time in weeks, this team looked alive. Players were smiling, the bench was hyped, the swagger was back, and that's when you know something's changing. So here's the bottom line. This wasn't just a victory, it was a statement of intent. Dak Prescott is playing at a championship level. The next man up philosophy is finally working. The defense found its teeth again, and the locker room, it's starting to believe. Jerry Jones was smiling for a reason, because for the first time this season, it looked like the Dallas Cowboys we all expect to see. Not perfect, not flashy, but united, hungry, dangerous. Cowboys Nation, this is your moment to breathe, to enjoy it, because the noise outside doesn't matter. What matters is that your team just sent a message to the league. We're not done. There's still a long road ahead, but this game reminded us that the fire's still burning in Dallas. So tell me in the comments, do you think this is the turning point? Is Dak officially back in the MVP race? Can this defense keep that same energy going forward? If you're riding with this team like I am, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your take below. Because this isn't just a recap, it's a revival. Dallas Game Day is back, and so are the Cowboys. One team, one heart, one star. Let's go.